Yo, what up YouTube? Today I want to do a topic on live versus frozen. There's a lot of controversial points to this, and one of them is that, live, the rodent obviously has a chance of injuring the snake, and frozen is much easier to feed because you don't pose that risk. So there's pros and cons to each of them, and I just want to say I know that I haven't made a video in a while, and people that watch some of my videos, I mean, I've only made like 3, and just please subscribe if you like what you see, and comment on this subject, because I know there's a lot of people out in the reptile community that talk about this. So let's start it up. So here's like some of the pros to feeding live. I mean, you don't have to thaw it out, obviously. You don't have to you know feed it with tongs. You don't have to add calcium to it. Um, and you can just throw it in there. Supervise the snake and the rodent. Make sure that the rodent doesn't bite the snake. And once the rodent is dead, your snake will do the rest. But yeah, live is definitely quicker and easier to do than frozen. Frozen is also quite easy. Frozen does take a little longer though to prepare. Um, I recommend, if you're gonna feed frozen, to get a pair of feeding tongs so that your snake does not mistake your arm or hand for the food. Because I mean, if you're holding this, they can sense the heat from your hand and then the heat from the mouse, and you're wiggling around. I mean, it can get quite confusing to a snake. So I just recommend getting feeding tongs, something like that. Um, another another thing about frozen is that they're already dead, so obviously they can't injure your snake. Um, another thing is that frozen, you have to add calcium depending on how long it's been uh, refrigerated for, or frozen for. If it's been frozen for like a year, I wouldn't even bother feeding it to my snake. If it's only been frozen for like a couple of weeks, I'd add some calcium to it and feed it to my snake then. And if you do choose to do frozen, you need to know that you need to thaw out the rodent completely before you actually feed your snake, because uh, something happens to their digestive tracts, I guess, from that, and it's just not healthy for the snake to be feeding on frozen things or not completely thawed out food items. But yeah, and another thing about frozen is don't ever stick it in the microwave, because that just becomes a gross project and it doesn't thaw it out. It just makes the mouse even grosser than it is uh, frozen. But yeah, just get like a tub of hot water or warm water, and just depending on the size of the rodent and depending on how many, I would recommend, for like, say you have a small boa constrictor like I do, I throw 2 medium-sized adult mice in there, and I leave them in there for about a half hour to 45 minutes to let them completely thaw out. And anything smaller, I usually would leave in there for 15 to 10 minutes. So I mean, there's a lot of good ways to feed frozen and to feed live. I mean, live, obviously the mouse can't escape, and it can even eat your snake if your snake's not interested in it. And another thing about live, never leave your snake unattended while if it doesn't eat. Never leave a mouse overnight, because the mouse will get hungry, or especially rats. Rats will get hungry and they will attack the snake, and the snake won't do anything about it. They'll just let the rat eat at them, and it's not good at all. I mean, I've seen things online where just huge chunks of pieces of red tail boa tails just taken off, and any kind of snake. I mean, it's just it's it's not healthy at all for your snake, and it cuts its life down quickly, and that's not good at all for snakes. Um, really to avoid thawing mice out, I sometimes will actually buy pre-killed from my local reptile store. Pre-killed, it's already fresh. It is killed in the back, um, wherever he stores his mice. It's killed there, and you don't get to see the gruesome part. But also, what he does is, I think he shoves some kind of thing in their nose, and I think he stabs something up there. But I'm not sure what it is. And the blood will also attract the snake. Um, and also with pre-killed, it can't injure the snake because obviously it's dead. But if you want to pre-kill your own mice, all you have to do is take it by the tail, and just with some force, go up to like a sharp edge. Well, I'm not recommending using a bedpost, but go up in a sharp edge with the mouse like this, and just whack it with some force. It is cruel and may become gruesome, but that'll ensure that your snake will not get injured, and it will be freshly killed, so you don't have to thaw it, so you don't have to worry about the freezing thing, and yeah. And that's pretty much on my frozen versus live. I mean, that's about all you need to know for that. I mean, really, what I would pick, I do feed frozen. I did feed live at one point. When I had ball pythons, I did feed live rodents to my snake. But I would recommend going with pre-killed because it doesn't really have much cons because it's already fresh, like a live mouse would be. It doesn't need to be thawed out, such as a frozen mouse would be, and it doesn't pose a threat to your snake. And you can leave it in there overnight and see if your snake will become interested in it, and you know, you may have to wiggle the mouse around a little bit to get the snake to strike while feeding it. My snake, my albino, is just accustomed to being fed frozen. She doesn't even strike anymore. She just grabs it by the head, doesn't even constrict it, and just starts eating. And it's really, to me, fast, other than the thawing out process. And say you go over to someone's house and you got a pre-killed mouse, and it's quite cold out, say it's winter time. Just throw it in some warm water for like 5 minutes and take it back out, dry it off, and offer it to your snake, and most likely they will eat it. Um, and so that is my feelings of live versus frozen, and that's it. So peace out, YouTube.